The second of the three parts of the Mussaf, Shemonah, Esrei, Rosh Hashanah is Zichronos. Zichronos. Hashem says, say verses that talk of the fact that I remember you, so that I will remember you to good, for the good, on Rosh Hashanah. What does that mean? What does that mean? Hashem should remember us for the good. Recite verses of his memory of us, of Zichronos. What's this all about? So let's begin. What does it mean that Hashem remembers? Sure, Hashem doesn't forget. Yeah, we say, Atoz Zecher Maaseh Olam. Hashem, you remember everything. Ein shichol lifnei chisei chvedecha. You don't forget. So what are we trying to say? That Hashem's got a great memory? He doesn't forget anything? What do we mean by that? What do we mean by that? What's meant by Hashem remembering something? Hashem is existence. Hashem is the reality of existence. Him remembering something, he doesn't remember like we remember. He remembers because he is reality itself, and anything that is part of reality is there. So what does it mean that Hashem remembers? Hashem remembers, that means the reality of everything we do. That means the eternity of everything we do. All right, we're using nice words. What does that mean? What does that mean? So let's look for some analogies. I guess a very straightforward one is there's a halacha. If someone experienced a miracle, a real nace, a miracle that is outside the realm of nature, of teva, the halacha is that every time the person passes by that place, he's supposed to say the bracha she'aseh li nes b'makom hazeh, he who performed the miracle for me in this place. The same thing going for a place where Hashem performed miracles for our ancestors. So you have to make the bracha she'aseh nes l'avoseinu b'makom hazeh, in this place. What's that all about? The Maharal in different places points out that a miracle means something that is outside the realm of limitation. It's not part of the finite world. It's something coming from something beyond that. You see, when Hashem does something that is not part of the teva, not part of nature, that has to be perpetuated, because that is no longer time-bound. Time is a factor of physical nature. When something breaks the barrier of physicality by going against the laws of nature, a miracle, then it's gone past time as well. So every time we pass by it, we say a bracha, because it's still there. It's forever and ever and ever and ever. The eternity of something Hashem did for us lies in the fact that he did not put it under the realm of teva, of nature. See, that being the case, we can speak about human action in those terms as well. And that is that when human beings do things that are natural, all right, they're part of finite existence. When a human being goes against his nature, when a human being goes beyond what his midos will allow him to do, when a human being is a koveshes yitzro, or a human being does more than what his midos will allow him to, he has just left the realm of a limit. And what he did becomes part of eternity. Becomes part of eternity. Of course, the greatest supernatural act that we find in the Torah done by a human being is the Akeida. the Akeida. Avram Avinu, the one who brought chesed to the world, loving kindness. Avram Avinu, who waited for a child till his old age. He gets his son Yitzchak, and yes, Yitzchak looks like he's going to be the future of mankind, and Hashem even promises him that. And then Hashem says, bring him to me as a human sacrifice. This so goes against who Avram Avinu is. His beloved son, Avram Avinu, is more human than any human being. He is the one that brought the pillar of chesed, of loving kindness to the world. Avram Avinu is ready to go and kill his son, bring him as a sacrifice to Hashem. I mean, that is going against every bit of what Avram Avinu is made of. That was a supernatural act. And yes, when Hashem accepted the offering of the ayil, of the ram instead of Yitzchak, so Avram Avinu asked that Hashem accepted it as if he brought Yitzchak. And Chazal tell us, Hashem said that Efro shel Yitzchak, the ashes of Yitzchak, as if he was burnt up, they are munachos befanai tomid. They are there in front of Hashem all the time. They are eternal. They are eternal. The Akeida Yitzchak is eternal. That's the schus we call upon all the time. In Zichronos, what we speak of is the eternity of action, the reality of action. And we want Hashem to remember the Akeida. We also want Hashem to remember our action in that light. In Ata Zocher, we go through a whole description of what it is that Hashem remembers. And the question is, why do we mention all of that? Hashem remembers a lot of things. Yeah. Maisei ish ufkudosoi. The actions of man, his mission. Alilois mitzadei gover. What are the motives behind what we do? Machshavoi sodo. The thoughts of man. Sachbol oisav, his attempts, things that he never did, but he tried to. V'yitzrei ma'alalei ish. The person's Yetzer Tov and Yetzer Hara. What are the strengths and weaknesses that he had? Why do we say that Hashem remembers all of that? You see, if we understand that the eternity of our action really depends on not just what we did, but what is it in reality, past the nature of the human being? What did I really do? What did I do that was not just a matter of following my Yetzer Hara, going with the midas that Hashem gave me? What did I do that's eternal? So there's a whole equation there. In truly calculating the meaning of everything we do, there are so many parts. And that's what we're talking about in Zichronos. Begins with Maseish, of course, what you did. That's the very first thing. But there's something else. What was I supposed to do? What was I supposed to do? What is my calling in this world? Pekudosoi. Hashem gave me whatever he did, whatever talent. He placed me in a certain place at a certain time. There's something that I'm supposed to have accomplished. So my action, where does that fall into? How does that relate to what my mission in life was? My mission in life really means the strengths Hashem gave me to be able to accomplish something. And alilos mitzadei gover. My action alone is superficial. It's what were my motivations? What am I trying to do? So I have the act itself, the strengths Hashem gave me in order to accomplish what I was supposed to accomplish, and what are my motivations? Why did I do what I did? What was I trying to do? That's not all machshava, so my thoughts. My thoughts as well. My thoughts are all part of this. They're all parts of who I am. Thought is also behavior. Sach b'lo isav, the actions I didn't do, but I tried to, that's also part of it. V'yitzrei ma'al reish, what I was up against. What is the real value of any act a human being commits? You see, when we talk about the Akeida, Avraham Avinu went against everything inside him. Hashem put Avraham Avinu in the world and gave him the strengths and the challenges to become what? He became the pillar of chesed. He revealed Hashem's name in the world because before Avraham Avinu's fanaticism for chesed, humanity didn't understand chesed. Humanity was filled with tyranny. Avraham Avinu changed that. So long as human beings were just involved in tyranny, there was no way they could possibly understand that Hashem created to give. What does that mean? Why should someone create to give? Avraham Avinu revealed that to the world. That was what he was all about. And went, or was prepared to go totally against that, because Hashem sits. Wow. That's an act that remains forever. That's an act for all of eternity. And that act means something. It's so complete. Our own actions, how do we measure them? Don't be superficial. The things that come easy, that we're naturals at, you're born and you're a natural val chesed. And what do you do with your life? You do chesed. It's nice. You get reward. But that's not the eternity of your action. Your real action is the situations where you felt like helping but knew it was not right. You felt like getting involved, but you controlled yourself and didn't. Oh, wow, that's big. You have to know what comes natural and what doesn't. At the same time, the Yitzrei Malayish, you may be doing something that to another human being is simple, but to you is so difficult. What Hashem remembers is the reality of our action. And Rosh Hashanah, when we're being judged, what do we live for? We cannot be superficial. Don't just do the comfortable mitzvahs. Don't just see yourself as somebody who does good things because they come naturally. Understand that growth is about going beyond your midos, building yourself, changing your midas, doing what you couldn't have done before, refraining from doing what your Yetzer so much tries to push you to do. That's forever. So this aspect of Zichronos is really getting us to appreciate what actions are really, what they're really worth. So that when we do prepare ourselves for Hashem's looking at us and deciding, are we tov? Are we fulfilling His will? It's not just, am I doing a bunch of mitzvahs? What am I doing that's for real, that's eternal? Don't underestimate, don't undervalue what you do. It could be that you're doing so much less than other people, but it comes with so much more difficulty for you. And then it's worth so much more. Or the easy stuff, where even though you may surpass others, but it really didn't involve any struggle. And there's no eternity to that. That's part of your teva. That's part of you're just your natural self. Zichronos, we ourselves have to first understand the eternity of our actions. And then we call upon Hashem to remember the eternity of Klal Yisrael's actions in the Akeida. There's a lot more to that. And we'll talk about that. But Zichronos means understand that Hashem's memory is reality, and the reality of our actions is what are they really worth. And that depends on how hard it was, how much you worked to make it happen, how much of it was really you, or how much was just natural talent, how much of it was just your natural good midas. It's the difficult ones that make your actions eternal, the ones you work hard for. This is reinforcing the work ethic, and at the same time, reviewing your behavior and coming to Hashem and saying, yeah, there are things I did that are eternal, but more importantly, Klal Yisrael eternally lives by the Akeida. Remember us.